Good morning, everybody. Pastor Stitch, Narrow Path Christian Church, BC, Bay City, Michigan. Welcome to the Biker Devotional. So this morning I'm going to do something a little bit different. There's some verses that I've been reading over and over again today, and I really feel like I'm supposed to talk about it, but I don't have the words that I'm supposed to say. So I'm going to read them, and I'm going to talk them out loud and see if they make sense. And if I land on a conclusion, awesome. If I don't, well, at least you see that, sometimes it takes work, and that's okay. But again, I think I'm going to land on a conclusion, but let's see where we go. We're in Proverbs Chapter 18, surprise, right? 18th day of the month, I'm reading Proverbs 18. Tomorrow I'll read Proverbs 19, because I read the chapter of Proverbs that goes with the date every day. And I have been doing that for years. And I challenge you on a continual basis to do the same thing. And it's not because Proverbs is some amazing thing, which, by the way, I think it is. The greatest wisdom ever penned is right here in this book of the Bible. Because it was given by God to Solomon, and Solomon was the wisest man who ever lived. And these were the morsels he felt was most important to give to his son. But also there's 31 chapters, so I don't have to worry about it. Every day I'll have a chapter to read, and that's just the start of my Bible reading every day. I read others as well, other places, other things, but this is my routine, and this is what got me into God's Word. And so that's why I challenge you to do the same thing. So this morning, I'm looking at Proverbs 18, and starting in Proverbs 18, starting in verse 17. It says, "The first to state his case seems right until another comes and cross-examines him. Casting the lot ends quarrels and separates powerful opponents. An offended brother is harder to reach than a fortified city, and quarrels are like bars of a fortress." Now, I'm looking at these and I'm trying to figure out, first and foremost, do they need to go together, or are they separate wisdom pearls? And I think they can all be taken as separate wisdom pearls. The first one to state their case, clearly they seem right until someone else comes along and has another opinion. We state this all the time. You will never argue someone into Christianity, because if you do, someone else will come along with a greater argument and argue them out of it, right? Verse 19 says, "An offended brother is harder to reach than a fortified city, and quarrels are like bars of a fortress." And we know this to be true. Someone who is upset with you, they're not going to listen to you, right? If they're offended, they're breaking in and having a real conversation and getting through to them, almost impossible. It's going to take a lot of work. The fortified cities, you're going to have to build siege works against it. You're going to have to do all kinds of things just to get through, and you're going to lose a lot. And you got to be sure it's worth it, right? And a quarrel is like the bars of a fortress, right? They're embedded in the wall. You can't get through them. You have to rip the whole wall apart to get these bars out. That's the quarrel. But that verse in the middle has me just baffled. Casting the lot ends quarrels and separates powerful opponents. There's something to be said about casting a lot and just accepting that that's the answer and moving on with your life. We don't do that in our world today. We don't. We will not do that in our world today. But back in this time, if something was unsolvable, the two parties would stand there and they would say, "Heads you win, tails I lose. Whatever it lands on, that's the end of the argument. We're not going to deal with it anymore." They'd flip the coin, pull the straws, whatever it was, and that was the end of the argument. They didn't have to fight it anymore. They could move on with their life. Why do we hold on to things and never let them go? I'm asking myself, I can't answer anything for you, but I know this is true for me. If I had to flip a coin and make a decision, I'd be really stuck, especially if it was against something or someone who's hurt me. Because that's what this has been about. Someone who has offended me. Someone who has harmed me. And I have to give up this thing just because of a flip of a coin? Are you kidding me? I'm going to fight this one until the end. That's the way I've always lived my life. And yet, they settled these things pretty quickly once they realized that they were at a deadlock. Something challenging me right now. Can I do that? I don't know. I need God to give me direction, and I trust He will. How about you? Where are you stuck today? Are you holding on to things that are going to deadlock you and kill you? Or are you willing to flip a coin and just live with the outcome of it? Sometimes we hold on too tight to things that don't matter, I think. Anyway, like I said, just talking the verses out today. I hope it showed you that, number one, you can do the same thing. And number two, maybe, just maybe, it gave you a direction for something in your life today. I love y'all. I hope you have a great day. God bless.